wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in our newsrooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. ZESCO, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill. Have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Your jungle.
Thank you so much for joining us to present the news on Prime TV. My name is Daniel Tonga. We look at the headlines. Kasama MP Geoffrey Mwamba calls on Edgar Lungu to embrace those challenging him. Zambia Rainbow Coalition disappointed with politicians failing to interpret party manifestos. UPND youths vow to protect their party leaders from harassment. And in foreign news, Mugabe sacks Vice President Mujuru. These and other stories when we return after this. And now the details. Kasama Member of Parliament Geoffrey Mwamba has called on PF presidential candidate Edgar Lungu to embrace all those that challenged him if he wants to win the 2015 presidential election. Mr. Mwamba says leadership calls for the recognition of all those with divergent views so as to push the agenda of the party and the nation as a whole. Mr. Mwamba has, however, expressed sadness towards the manner in which some people are aligning themselves with PF when they have no background of the foundation of the party. Mr. Mwamba was speaking to Prime TV News in Lusaka.
He wants to use other people to invite us. If you want to be a leader, you should be strong. You should be a strong character. Call your colleagues and say, how do we move forward? Probably we have also got styles or systems or whatever that we use to make SATA win. In my case, did SATA come to Northern Province? He never came there. Did he come to Machinga? He never came there. I was there. You understand? I know what I did. And I was very, very close to President SATA and Given Lubinda and Nsanda. You understand? So at least we know that he has left some ideas, some thoughts, some styles, some systems of how to win an election. We've been by SATA side in the times of losing election and in the times of winning election. Some of the guys you are seeing now in front, did you see them? They were not even closer to us. They were behind us. They were not even in the picture. But today, they seem to be the champions of PF. But good luck to them. That's all I can say.
39 nationals were yesterday released by the Immigration Department for contravening the Immigration and Deportation Act No. 18 of 2010. The 39 nationals of various nationalities were released and later deported through Nakonde border to their countries of origin. And a court in Livingstone convicted and sentenced a Congolese national to a fine of 500 kwacha or 1 month simple imprisonment in default for illegally entering the country. The same court also convicted and sentenced 3 Malawian nationals to fines of 300 kwacha each or 3 months simple imprisonment in default for illegal stay in the country. This was issued in a statement made available to Prime TV by the Immigration Department. United Party for National Development, UPND youths have vowed that they will not sit back and watch their leaders and supporters being harassed by PF party cadres. UPND Lusaka Youth Mobilizer Nathan Piri says it is sad that PF youths are in the habit of using intimidation and intimidating UPND youths and attacking them. He says if threats from PF do not stop, they will resort to using defensive methods in order to protect themselves. The UPND youths have accused the Patriotic Front youths of harassing and beating up UPND cadres in Lusaka and other areas.
If youths are using intimidation methods in these constituencies within Lusaka, they are tearing our stickers and they are beating up people. So it shows that these are the rust kicks of a dying horse. And as UPND youths in Lusaka, we are saying we are more than ready for them. If at all they want war, we will take it the way they want. But we don't need no violence because we want this campaign to be free from violence. We don't want to intimidate a lot of people who want to vote. And what I'm strongly warning the PF to say that if they want war, then we shall create it. So we'll take that war to their doorsteps. So what it is, we are ready to defend any member of UPND countrywide.
And a former Lusaka PF District Vice Secretary has disputed allegations by the UPND that PF youths are beating up UPND cadres. Benjamin Siwila says the UPND should not be threatened by the PF, but that they need to concentrate their energies on campaigning than focusing on false statements. He says his party at the moment has no time to engage in fights with the opposition, adding that the party youths are busy selling their presidential candidates.
How aggressive and influential we are and how much we are doing our campaigns, I believe that has sent some shivers in the UPND camp, and the only way they can run away from reality is by starting accusing our youth, which we know that we really have very limited time to concentrate on our campaigns. I believe you are aware of that. So we don't really have time to chase after the UPND or tearing their I don't think we have that amount of time. Our time, the time that we have, is a time to market our candidate, who is president of PF, Edgar Lungu, to the electorates out there. So we really don't have time to fight UPND.
A 17-year-old boy of John Leng compound has gone missing. Mother of the boy, Helen Mbuzi, speaking to Prime TV News, says her son went missing on Monday morning last week. She says the boy's name is Axon Banda and was last seen on December 1st, 2014 in the morning wearing a long-sleeved shirt and grey trousers. Axon is epileptic and does not talk much, and if found, she has asked people to contact her on 0977 969 138 or 096 1969 138. Ruling Patriotic Front PF President Edgar Lungu is on Saturday, 13th of December, expected to hold a rally in Mongu, Western Province. Mr. Lungu is expected to make a number of pronouncements regarding what his party is currently doing for Western Province. In a statement released to Prime TV News, PF Secretary General Davis Chama notes that Mr. Lungu still maintains a good relationship with people of Western Province. He says Mr. Lungu is also in good standing with the Litunga Imwiko Lubosi II, who honored him with the royal walking stick to guide him in his leadership path. Mr. Chama states that after the Mongo tour, Mr. Lungu will on Sunday hold another rally that has been slated for Mandevu grounds in Lusaka. And now we go for our first break. Join us for other interesting stories when we return.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real because you look so free. So let's chill. Have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Welcome back, and now other items. The Zambia Rainbow Coalition has expressed disappointment over the failure by political parties to interpret their manifestos in local languages. Coalition President Cleophas Phiri says issues of electing the country's president require the involvement of all citizens, especially the need for them to understand each party's manifesto. He has stated the need for presidential candidates and their parties to embrace the illiterate and physically challenged in their agendas as they are campaigning for the country's top job. And Mr. Phiri has cautioned the electorate against using emotions when voting in the 2015 election, adding that the citizens should seriously scrutinize the candidates for the betterment of the nation.
We are very disturbed with the current political campaigns. We feel that the politicians have lamentably failed to, interpret, their own manifestos into the local language, so that the Zambians can then understand what they wish and intend to do for the Zambians. And it's also important that the politicians begin to campaign on issue-based campaigns to avoid the issues of mudslinging, character assassination, and innuendos. And we want to see politicians declaring that they will not condone violence at all times. We also want to appeal, I think, to the Electoral Commission of Zambia that the playing field must be leveled. We want an election that will espouse the true aspirations of the Zambians, and that the vote must be protected at all costs.
A man who is alleged to have filed a complaint in the Lusaka Magistrate Court over the facts disclosed by Edgar Lungu and Jean Kapata in their affidavits to the High Court amounted to a criminal offense has denied ever filing in the complaint. Austin Katunta told a news briefing in Lusaka on Tuesday morning that he never filed a complaint against the duo, that the magistrate was being requested to institute criminal proceedings against the duo. This is in a matter where Mr. Newton Nguni is contesting the alleged irregular manner in which the handover of the presidency was done on the 29th of October 2014 following the death of President Michael Sata. Mr. Katunta said facts before the court purport that he had sown and filed the complaint against the duo before the Lusaka Magistrate Court. He said he is surprised that a complaint was raised in his name, adding that this is a serious case of forgery, saying anyone who has done this has committed serious offense. A visually impaired person has appealed to political parties to consider writing their party manifestos in Braille. Pasco Mulenga, a student at the University of Zambia, says it is sad that physically challenged persons such as the deaf and the blind have been sidelined in political issues. He says just like able-bodied persons, the physically challenged have the right to contribute to national development, hence should be aware of the happenings in the party. He has called on all political parties to engage all Zambians ahead of the January 20th presidential election.
I'm calling upon all the political parties, starting from the so-called ruling party, Patriotic Front, up to the party for Dan Pule. Put the manifesto in Braille for the people who are blind, so that we touch your manifestos. We know what you're about to do for us who are disabled. What are you going to do? We are disappointed, first of all, with the Patriotic Front, because even the late Chilufya Michael Sata, we never had seen any person who was disabled in the cabinet minister or who was nominated as a member of parliament. So, Dr. Guy Scott, wherever you are, stand up and put the information in Braille, so that me who's blind, I can read what you're about to do. Even you, Mr. Hakaim the Ichlema, if you are a serious politician, if you have got a heart for the people who are disabled, stand up and put the information in Braille, so that even people who are disabled should know. If it means going on sign language, go and interpret, so that they are able to know what you are going to do for them.
Lupososhi Member of Parliament Lazarus Chunguwalia says the recent power struggle in the party is evident that the PF is a democratic party. Mr. Walia, who is also PF presidential deputy spokesperson, says the succession wrangles in the PF have made the party emerge stronger ahead of the 2015 presidential election. He has stressed that PF members are determined to work together towards one goal of ensuring they remain in power and rally behind the duly elected party president Edgar Lungu. Mr. Walia was speaking when he featured on Prime TV's news and current affairs program Prime Daybreak.
We have demonstrated as a party that we can allow for divergent views, that we can allow others to express their opinions, and at the end of the day, we can emerge as stronger than ever before. And here we are. So we are giving, and we'll make sure that these other political parties that started their campaign area they will face what I may call, they will have a shock of their life, because we are moving, and the rate at which we are moving is not only faster, but it also very, very determined and well coordinated and well calculated. So I'm hoping that others that are still sitting on the fence, they don't know whether to come on board, or I'm hoping that before the end of this week, all of them will come and say, let's move, let's go as a party.
We now go for our second break. More after this.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Welcome back, and now in international news. Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe has fired his deputy Joyce Mujuru along with 8 ministers aligned to her days after she lost her post in the ruling party. Mugabe sacked Mujuru, 59, on Tuesday after weeks of accusations that she had led a force faction to try to unseat Mugabe. The sacked officials received their dismissal letters on Monday night, reported the Reuters news agency. Mujuru, who once looked likely to succeed Mugabe in power for 34 years, has been accused of plotting to assassinate the 90-year-old and removed from the ruling ZANU-PF party's Central Committee. ZANU-PF held an elective Congress last week, which endorsed Mugabe as president and his wife Grace as head of the Women's League. And finally, in our news, the U.S. has heightened security at its embassies across the globe as it prepares to release a long-delayed report into the CIA's interrogations of suspects following the September 11, 2001 attacks. The report, scheduled to be released on Tuesday, will be the first public account of the CIA's use of torture on detainees held in secret facilities in Europe and Asia. The 480-page report is understood to cover the treatment of around 100 suspects rounded up by U.S. operatives between 2001 and 2009 on terrorism charges. The full 6,200-page report, however, remains classified. We monitored Al Jazeera for more international roundups.
up. Leaders from the Gulf Cooperation Council are in Qatar for their annual summit. The growing threat posed by fighters from the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant is expected to dominate the talks, and it's thought the Gulf countries may agree to form a joint military command. The US government's been stepping up security at its facilities worldwide ahead of the release of a report into CIA interrogation techniques. It's the first time the agency's been brought to account for methods used on al-Qaeda suspects. People in the Philippines are recovering from the latest major storm to hit their islands. At least 42 people have died. What was a typhoon, Hagubit, struck the eastern part of the country on Monday, but is weakened now to a tropical depression and is heading west. Demonstrations have continued across the United States over black Americans being killed by white police. In Northern California on Monday night, protesters blocked a highway through the city of Berkeley. The protest began after grand juries in Missouri and New York decided not to charge the white officers involved in the deaths of 2 black men. The United Nations says the cost of providing humanitarian assistance to global crises next year will be more than $16 billion. It's launched an appeal for 57 million people who it says are desperately in need of aid. The UN says people are facing an unprecedented level of suffering globally, including a high number of those who are forced to flee within their own countries.
In the plans that we are launching today, a combined 78 million people are considered in need of humanitarian assistance, and we aim to respond to the urgent needs of 57 million of them. This does not include the 9 countries in the Sahel and Djibouti. We will launch those appeals in February. We require 16.4 billion to meet the needs in the appeal that we're launching today.
And as we conclude our news, we take a recap of what made the headlines. Kasama MP Geoffrey Mwamba calls on Edgar Lungu to embrace those challenging him. Zambia Rainbow Coalition disappointed with politicians failing to interpret party manifestos. UPND youths vow to protect their party leaders from harassment. And in foreign news, Mugabe sacks Vice President Mujuru. And that's just about what we had on our news. On behalf of the entire production crew and the news department, this has been Daniel Tonga. Thank you so much for joining us, and bye-bye.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. ZESCO, powering the nation.